When a
launched
car
a new
launches
energy
quietly,
vehicle,
people
perhaps
usually
no
assume
one thought
it's
that this
forgettable.
car
No hype, no flashy promises, no dramatic countdowns. That's exactly how this story began. A small vehicle appeared on the market with a price tag so low that most people didn't even take it seriously at first. Many brushed it off as just another budget option, something meant to exist quietly in the background. But then people started looking closer. And once they did, the conversation completely changed. Because this wasn't just a cheap car, it was a statement. A car priced around $6,200 that didn't look or feel like it belonged in that bracket. And suddenly, the entire Asian auto market started paying attention. At the center of this shift is Tata Motors, a company known for playing the long game. They didn't shout about this launch. They didn't flood social media with futuristic promises. They waited. And when the Tata Punch entered the scene, the reaction was delayed but explosive. What initially looked like a simple small SUV quickly turned into a question mark for competitors. How could something this affordable feel so solid? Why were buyers lining up so quickly? And most importantly, what did this mean for everyone else selling cars in Asia? The real shock wasn't the design or even the badge, it was the price. In price-sensitive markets, numbers speak louder than marketing. A starting price this low doesn't just attract attention, it forces people to recalculate their entire idea of car ownership. For someone riding a bike or scooter for years, this suddenly felt reachable. Monthly EMAs that looked familiar, fuel costs that didn't trigger anxiety, a four-wheeler that didn't feel like a financial gamble. And once that realization set in, the Punch stopped being just another car and started becoming a serious alternative. While most manufacturers were busy chasing the future, pouring money into EVs, batteries, and high-tech dashboards, Tata quietly focused on the present. The industry assumption was clear. Budget cars were dying, safety rules were stricter, technology was getting expensive, and margins were shrinking. Many experts believed the low-cost segment had no room left for disruption. But that assumption turned out to be the biggest mistake. Tata didn't ask what cars would look like 10 years from now. They asked what people needed today, and that single shift in thinking changed everything. In much of Asia, the EV dream still comes with anxiety. Charging stations are inconsistent. Power cuts are real. Battery replacement costs sound terrifying to first-time buyers. For families upgrading from two-wheelers, reliability matters more than futuristic features. Tata understood that fear. Instead of pushing people towards something they weren't ready for, they offered an option that felt familiar, practical, and safe. That's where the CNG decision quietly changed the game. CNG had long been treated like background technology, functional, boring, mostly associated with taxis. But Tata reframed it. They didn't sell CNG as a compromise. They sold it as freedom. Compressed natural gas burns, cleaner and slower than petrol. That means lower fuel costs, less heat stress on the engine, and smoother everyday driving. No complex jargon, no over-engineering, just a system designed for daily life. Office commutes, school drop-offs, weekend errands, the kind of driving most people actually do. There's a common belief that CNG engines wear out faster or feel weak. Tata approached this differently. The engine was tuned for consistency, not aggression. No unnecessary strain, no artificial power chasing. The result is an engine that doesn't feel tired even after long use. Lower maintenance, predictable. Servicing and running costs that don't creep up unexpectedly. For someone driving 30 to 40 kilometers a day, this changes the entire ownership experience. Fuel stops stop hurting. Monthly budgets feel manageable again. But cheap fuel means nothing if the car itself feels fragile. This is where Tata challenged another long-held belief. Affordable does not have to mean unsafe. Over the years, Tata has built a reputation around strong body structures, and the Punch carries that philosophy forward. From the moment you close the door, there's a sense of solidity. On rough roads, over speed bumps, during sudden braking, the car feels planted. Safety here isn't just a feature list, it's a feeling. And for families buying their first car, that feeling matters more than anything else. For many buyers, this car represents more than transportation. It represents dignity. Moving from a bike to a car isn't just an upgrade, it's a lifestyle shift. Protection from rain, comfort for children, easier travel for elderly parents. When EMEs feel manageable and fuel costs stay low, the decision stops being scary. The car becomes a solution, not a burden, and Tata leaned heavily into that emotional reality. So how did they manage to keep the price this low without cutting corners? The answer isn't magic. It's scale, planning, and discipline. Tata manufactures at massive volumes. When parts are produced in bulk, costs fall naturally. Add to that strong localization, sourcing components domestically avoids currency shocks, import duties, and supply delays. Years of experience in commercial vehicles gave Tata an edge in managing complex supply chains efficiently. Fewer delays, fewer emergency expenses, more control. Then comes product discipline. Instead of loading the car with features people didn't ask for, Tata focused on essentials. Strong structure, reliable engine, acceptable comfort. Nothing extra that would inflate costs unnecessarily. Even with CNG, the strategy stayed consistent. Low purchase cost combined with low running cost, that combination is powerful. When buyers feel they can afford the car today and still afford to run it 5 years from now, hesitation disappears. The ripple effect of this launch goes far beyond one country. Across Asia, similar conditions exist. Price sensitivity, infrastructure gaps, practical buyers. A car like this forces competitors to rethink their strategies. Suddenly, expensive base variants look uncomfortable. EVA-only roadmaps feel risky. Some brands may be forced to cut prices. Others may bring back CNG or hybrids they had quietly sidelined. The transition to EVs doesn't stop, but it slows. Not because EVs are bad, but because people realize they can wait. This is where the conversation often shifts to premium EV players like Tesla and BMW. The punch doesn't compete with them directly, but it competes with something just as important: patience. When buyers see a reliable, affordable option that solves today's problems, they delay big-ticket EV purchases. They tell themselves they'll switch later. That delay alone reshapes the market. CNG also challenges EVs on running costs, one of their biggest selling points. In many Asian cities, fueling up is easier than charging. No range anxiety, no power cut worries. For the average buyer, convenience often beats innovation. And when local companies gain confidence from successes like this, competition intensifies. Value wars replace feature wars. Suddenly, price, reliability, and practicality take center stage again. In the end, the Tata punch isn't trying to prove that EVs are wrong. It's proving that timing matters. The future will come, but people still live in the present. By understanding that reality better than anyone else, Tata didn't just launch a car, they exposed a blind spot in the entire industry. Sometimes the biggest disruption isn't the most futuristic idea. It's the product that quietly fits into people's lives and refuses to be ignored. And what makes this moment even more interesting is what happens after the excitement settles. Once the initial buzz fades, buyers don't walk away from the Tata punch. They start recommending it. Word spreads in families, in offices, in neighborhoods. Someone buys one, then the cousin asks about mileage. A neighbor asks about service costs. A friend asks how it feels on bad roads. This kind of organic momentum is far more dangerous to competitors than flashy ad campaigns because it's built on lived experience, not promises. Over time, this creates a subtle shift in buyer psychology. People stop asking, "What's the most advanced car I can buy?" and start asking, "What's the smartest car for my life right now?" That single question changes everything. Features become secondary. Screens feel less important. What matters is whether the car starts every morning, whether it's affordable to run, and whether it feels safe with your family inside. This is exactly where the punch quietly wins. Another overlooked effect is how this influences resale expectations. In many Asian markets, resale value matters almost as much as the purchase price. Buyers don't just think about owning a car, they think about exiting it later. Technologies that feel experimental create fear around resale. CNG, on the other hand, feels predictable. It's familiar. People understand it. That confidence alone keeps demand strong, even in the used car market, reinforcing the car's value over time. This is also why competitors can't simply copy the formula overnight. The low price isn't just about cutting margins. It's about ecosystem control. Manufacturing scale, supplier relationships, service networks, and long-term planning all play a role. Trying to match the price without matching the structure leads to losses. And raising prices while claiming premium value doesn't work in the budget segment. Buyers here are ruthless with comparisons. They don't care about brand stories. They care about math. What we're seeing now is a pause in the industry's EV narrative. Not a rejection, but a recalibration. Automakers